So, on the most recent lesson, if you're just watching this video, you will have been looking at bacteria as part of your infection response unit of work. Now, excuse me, that came out of nowhere. Bacteria are also another type of pathogen, so they cause illness and disease within organisms. Now, the first thing to remember about bacteria is that they are prokaryotic. So that means that they have no nucleus. Instead of having a nucleus, they have what you might sometimes see referred to as either a nucleoid, so just free floating, strand of DNA that just hangs out in the cytoplasm, or you might also see the term plasmid referred to as well. Now, a plasmid is simply small rings of DNA. Okay, so they're just small circular rings of DNA. Now, there are other elements to bacterial cells that are worth bearing in mind. Some of those are the flagella, which is a little bit like a tail, think similar to kind of the structure of sperm. It helps bacteria to move around. They also have a cell wall, which is a bit like a plant cell, and pili or pili, which help bacteria to attach to other surfaces they come into contact with. Now, bacteria can infect your body through all of the different transmission types we've looked at before. Now, inside, once they get inside an organism, they rapidly reproduce through what we call binary fission, which is where they just split and split and split and develop into multiple different bacterial cells, and obviously an infection spreads from there. Now, there are three types that you need to know about, and that refers to their shapes. There's a rod, a round, sometimes called a coccus, or a spiral bacteria. And they make organisms feel ill because they produce toxins, which are a bit like a type of poisons, and they basically damage surrounding cells. Now, there are a few different types, a few different examples that it's worth remembering. One of those is Salmonella, which you can get through food poisoning by eating contaminated food, such as contaminated dairy or meat, or sometimes eggs, but not so much nowadays. And symptoms include fever, vomiting, and if you can spell it right, diarrhea. And one of the biggest risks of this is dehydration, because basically if you vomit out and diarrhea out enough liquid in your body, you can dehydrate, and that can put you at serious risk of death. And then another example, again a wonderful spelling, is gonorrhea. Now, gonorrhea is an STD, so it's transmitted by sexual contact, and basically if someone gets it, it's very painful to urinate, and also sometimes you get what's described as a thick, sticky, smelly, green discharge. Lovely, isn't it? bit like peeing out broccoli puree. That's an image for you there, isn't it? Now, it's usually treated with penicillin, which we'll come across later in terms of the development of antibiotics. And there are no resistant strains that are harder to treat, and the simple methods of preventing it are contraception and also, obviously, antibiotics.